Hi, and welcome to this lesson on change and stakeholders. Obviously, we've got the concept map here. Now, for many of you, this is like, we've been here before. We've heard of this before. So stakeholders, yes, these are people with a vested interest in the business. So if our business is in the middle here, obviously employees have a vested interest. Okay, they're worried about their job security and getting money. Suppliers are worried about supplying the business with more materials and getting paid for that. So they're vested interest. Customers are looking for products from us. Owners are hoping to get a return on their investment. Managers are seeking to keep their job and achieve the business objectives. And the general community is also interested in what the business is doing. Okay, so that's a quick little recap for us about what stakeholders are and their connection to the business. Now I want you to have a look at this little video, which is fascinating, where Coles is experimenting with having drones deliver food to your very door. Okay, so have a look at that and let's think about how that was going to connect. Okay, so hopefully you found that really interesting. The idea that they're trialing in Southeast Queensland with 500 products that you can literally just tap on your phone and have it literally dropped in at your door. So how would that connect to us? Well, our business obviously in the middle here would be Coles. How might that affect employees? Well, they might be concerned they're going to lose their job, because if we get that transition occurring and they have a drop-off, then maybe we don't need people at the customer service counter anymore and the checkouts, because we could do that. So then maybe they have a plus and a minus. They might be fearful for the change, but some employees might be now required to operate the drones. That could be a fun job to do. The suppliers for Coles, providing from the farms and the manufacturing warehouses, will hopefully see an increase in sales. So they'll be happy that more people are using the drones and maybe they need more products. Okay, but maybe equally that there might be a diminish in the terms of extra goods that are bought from the store, because you're now getting it dropped to you directly. You don't need to buy extra things as you're walking around, possibly. Customers will hopefully see this in a positive light. You can have it dropped to your very door. You don't have to go anywhere. We just literally tap on the phone and in comes the drone delivery. The owners are hoping that the customers are happy and therefore increased sales will occur, will make more profits, and therefore the business can have a better return on investment. So that could be a positive for the Coles owners. The managers have got a mixed level here. They're thinking, yes, this is hopefully going to expand the business and it's going to have greater growth in the market, but also there's an extra level of complexity, dealing with a new angle of workers who are assigned to the drones and making sure that those are occurring and we haven't got any negative customer reactions. So it could be a positive or negative. And the same arguably for the general community. They might like the fact that this has been dropped in and the convenience factor, but some of you might go, well, actually, I don't really want drones around my house all the time for privacy reasons or even the sound or the disturbance of them. So you can see how one change in a business can affect all of our stakeholders. And that's what we're going to explore in this lesson. This lesson is about change and stakeholders and the impact it has on them. So looking at our study design, okay, we're looking in this lesson here about the effect of change on stakeholders, and specifically we're looking at owners, managers, employees, customers, suppliers, and the general community. And we're going to take each one of those in turn. So let's unpack in a little bit more detail now how change can affect each of these stakeholders. So let's first of all take the owners. Remember, these are the people who invested the money in the business and they're looking for a return on their investment. So they're hopeful that a successful business change can provide them with an increased return on their investment and greater financial security. So that change is positive, more sales come in, we make more profits, and hopefully a greater return on our investment. It can also hopefully provide opportunities for business owners to use their leadership skills to connect with employees and develop stronger interpersonal relationships. So as we go about this change, they're more connected to the employees, they're seeing how it's going on, and hopefully getting a more harmonious, growing business, and it's an exciting environment to be in. The business owner might be perceived more positively by employees if they implement change successfully. So if you've done something successful, they go, wow, this person is inspiring. I'm going to follow them along as well. So good relationships and better return on investment. However, change can have a negative side effect for this group as well. If the change is unsuccessful, they may experience personal and financial implications. They might be blamed for it. So you get that personal status feeling behind it. Also, if you've invested your money in the business and something goes wrong and the customers don't come to you and your profits fall, that's going to have a financial impact on you as well. They may become overwhelmed and stressed by the increased workload and responsibilities. Change is a big thing, and it's going to have a big effect on you when it's all your money at stake behind it. And they may be resented if employee roles are made redundant or significantly changed. We might have a negative corporate culture coming out of this. So for this, we have both positive and negative effects that will affect the owners as we embark change process. Okay, the next group we'll explore in a little bit more detail is managers. Again, both the positive and the negative effects of change on them. So firstly, a business change can provide opportunities for a manager to develop new skills or advance their career. There might be a new opening, or I've got to learn some new things about a new technology we're bringing in. And that can be enriching and also build up your skills for future roles. You might get a financial or even a non-financial reward if the change is successfully implemented. There might be some catch to it that if you achieve a certain goal with this new business, then you're going to get a financial payout for that. Or it could be about if you do this, we're going to promote you. So that can be associated with it as well. So managers can feel quite positively linked to this change. A manager might also get increased authority and responsibility. So they're going to have a big role to play in this change. They might have been made accountable or delegated the role of making sure the change is successful. So they feel connected to it, and they might have financial or non-financial rewards connected to achieving that goal. However, just like in the owners, managers can be negative effectively as well. Change can be a big thing, especially if they're responsible for it. So their workload might increase. This might lead to stress or a negative effect on their well-being as they feel accountable for the successful change. And if it is unsuccessful, they may lose their job at the ultimate level, or at least be fearful of their financial security. They might be demoted or put on a different project. So strong positive gains potentially there, but also potentially negative feelings as well. So it's very much a nervous period of time for managers. The next group who is definitely impacted by change in a business is employees, both for good and for negative reasons as well. Okay, so first of all, the positive effects. Let's look at the positive side first. Employees might be given new responsibilities. They might have new roles to play or have a chance to have career advancement to take on new roles. Now, that's all great for employees. They're going to feel better about their job security. They're building their CV, their skills, their experiences. So change can bring about great opportunities. And if it's successful, they might also get job and financial security. If they achieve the goal that's been ahead, there might be some rewards associated with that. Or there might be a promotion that's ongoing and permanent. So change can be a great opportunity. They might get these financial and non-financial roles. We might be paying people additional for achieving the goal. Another benefit for employees is the possibility to undertake training, to build their skills. So let's pretend that we've got a new production line and staff have got to get acquainted with new technology and new computer systems. That training will give them additional sets of skills, which will not only be good for now, but also for future roles that might come up. So their future employability will also be boosted. So lots of potential gains for employees going through change. However, some change may require employees to develop complex skills and learn difficult processes, which adds extra stress. So learning that new computer system or working on the new production line might be stressful for employees. We also might be fearful that that technology might replace our role completely. So redundancies associated with change is a natural fear for employees. They're fearful for their job and also financial security. And it might require some employees to take on increased responsibility. And if they're not prepared for that, that can become overwhelming. I've got to do all of these extra things as well as my whole job. So as well as there being lots of opportunities in change, there can also be some potential negative impacts that employees can be fearful of as we go about that business change. The next stakeholder we'll look at, customers. Okay, so what is the positive and negative effects of change on customers? Well, hopefully the change will improve the quality of a business's goods and services. So a new production line, reducing errors that were occurring beforehand, all of our products are coming out better quality, then that's going to be great for a customer. The reputation builds and they're going to have better satisfaction. So that's a good positive. It also might increase their satisfaction if all of that change leads to lower prices. So all this technology makes it more efficient. We can reduce our cost per unit, and therefore we can pass it on to consumers and they get a cheaper product. Yes! They could be really pleased about that response. Okay, so that's another positive for consumers. And they also might get some satisfaction if some of these new strategies demonstrate corporate social responsibility. So if the business has been going about change and taking care of the environment, the employees, and society in general, that again will be a positive uplifting experience for consumers going, yes, I want to support that company and that business and buy their products or services because they're supportive of all those factors as well. So lots of things that hopefully customers gain from a business going for a positive change. However, the negative effects, okay? If a business sources cheaper inputs to reduce business costs, they may compromise the quality of that product. So if you as a customer get a lower quality product, then you're now dissatisfied. Okay, we've definitely got something cheaper, but if it doesn't fulfill the role we wanted, it doesn't fulfill our needs. So this could lead to customer frustration, reduced satisfaction. Equally, if the change leads to increased costs for the business and they pass it on to us, we might see an increase in price. That will again cause customers to be dissatisfied. And if a business chooses to discontinue or change the goods or services completely, then we might have dissatisfaction drop because the new product that they brought in fails to meet our needs. So hopefully lots of positive from business change, but there is the potential that it's no longer going to meet what we actually wanted in the first place. So customers could be dissatisfied as well. Our next stakeholder group is suppliers. Now, obviously, they're linked to the business because they're supplying the goods and services, which that business then sells on to the consumer. So hopefully, as the business goes through change, there will be some impacts on the supplier as they're supplying them with those goods. So firstly, we're hoping that supply demand may increase. If they require more of our products because they've had success themselves, then we're going to get additional amount of resources needed to meet the production needs, and we get more sales. So that's a good thing for suppliers. Hopefully, we get linked to their success, and that triggers off a better reaction for us. However, if a business decides to switch to a different supplier, so no longer do we need you, we're going to get it from somewhere else, cheaper or overseas products, the supplier sales may decrease because we don't need them as much, and therefore they will experience a lower volume of orders from our business. So suppliers could be negatively affected. Secondly, let's imagine that our business that we're running suddenly requires a different level of quality certification or a different level of environmental processes from our suppliers. Well, then that's going to force our supplier to change their production measures as well to meet our needs. So this change may require the suppliers to involuntarily adjust their own processes to meet the demands of our business. So as well as the opportunities for success linked to ours, there could be some negative reactions when a business goes through change, either directly leaving them alone or forcing them to adapt to meet our new needs as well. And our final stakeholder group we're going to look at is the general community. How does the actions of the business affect the broader community around us? Well, firstly, from the positive side, that if the change is successful, then hopefully as a business we'll need more workers. So there might be new job opportunities and local employment rates will increase, more people being required to work for the business, which then has that flow on. They've got better job security, they're getting more money, and that will flow on to the overall well-being of society. A generally more prosperous, job secure environment for our local community. Also, you can imagine if the business change means that that business expands or grows, and there's now new traffic coming to that area to buy their sales, then that will have a flow-on effect for the surrounding businesses. So more people coming into this business, while they're around, they'll also purchase products from surrounding businesses as well, and that will have that ripple effect to surrounding companies. Equally, if it's successful, then the business may have a greater propensity to help support local causes, whether it's the local charities or local football events. So ultimately, they have more money to distribute in the local economy, and therefore, hopefully, the society in general around that area benefits. Also, if that change was linked to reducing waste, then there'll be less environmental impact in the local area. Okay, so that will also improve local living standards for the general community. So lots of positive benefits. However, we have to also bear in mind that when we go through business change, there could be a negative repercussion for the local community. Let's just say that that change was about removing some workers to have been replaced by robots or technology, then the resulting redundancies in that area may well increase local unemployment. And that, again, will have that ripple effect. Okay, so if they don't have as much money because there's less employees, then they have less money to purchase from the local milk bars and fish and chips, and those businesses also get damaged. Equally, if they were involved ultimately in a store closure or relocation, the same surrounding businesses may experience decline in sales. And in a bigger scale, if we involve switching to an overseas supplier, transporting inputs from overseas countries, then that could have a negative effect on the environment. More transport costs, more pollution, more impacts on climate change would have a negative effect on that community. So positive and negative effects from business change on the general community. Okay, let's look at a worked example of that content knowledge and application. Here's our question. So remember again, trusty pen, let's underline the keywords we're required to address. First, to describe. Okay, we're describing, we're going a bit detail to it. One potential benefit and also one potential disadvantage to employees as a specific stakeholder as a result of business change. So when we see the 4 marks, we can have in our head, we've got 2 things to do and we have some description. So we're looking for 2 marks for the benefits and 2 marks for the disadvantage. So adding a bit of depth and detail to our response. So in our sample answer, we can hopefully see that here. The business change may have led to more successful businesses, which builds long-term security for the employee. And so their morale will hopefully be higher. They experience less stress and are better able to achieve a work-life balance with their families. So a positive reaction to employees from a successful change. However, the change could have potentially reduced the need for employees or even replaced them completely and led to redundancy, loss of jobs, loss of income, and loss of esteem through technology changes, outsourcing, or overseas manufacturing. This could lead to long-term unemployment and a host of emotional issues that the employee will now have to deal with. So a positive and negative impact on employees, and therefore we've addressed both sides with some good detail to get the full 4 marks available. So as a quick summary recap, okay, so stakeholders, these are people, these are groups that have a vested interest in the actions of the business. So when we go through business change and something changes in here, it will have an ongoing reaction to these groups, either a positive or negative impact. Employees, suppliers, customers, owners, managers, and the general community. And you need to be able to explore those and show what's happening to those groups as a result of our business actions. Well done. What's coming up next is our CSR considerations, corporate social responsibility, and the things we need to consider when we're going through change.